Hi and welcome. This cybersecurity news was published 2 days ago, that is on 27th September 2018 by the Hacker News. And it says that Google researchers have discovered a new flaw or weakness or vulnerability in Linux kernel. Now, in this video, I'll explain all the technical terms, the background, and technical details of the news. Now, zero day is a type of flaw or vulnerability which is not known to the vendor of the product, but it is only known to the hacker or researcher who found it first. Now, the day the vendor learns about this vulnerability is the day zero, and afterward he develops a patch to fix this vulnerability. Now, this is a non-profit organization which is US based, and it is federally funded, and it maintains FFRDC, that is federally funded research and development centers in United States, and it is funded by Department of Homeland Security. Now, one of its center, that is National Cybersecurity Center or National Cybersecurity Federally Funded Research and Development Center, maintains a database of flaws or vulnerabilities or software vulnerabilities, and this is just a list of entries of vulnerabilities referenced by their identification number. Now, there is another term, that is NVD or National Vulnerability Database. Now, NVD is a superset of CVE or Common Vulnerability and Exposure, and NVD takes input from CVE. Now, here you can see that this is the NVD site. It contains the CVE number, but it also has additional analysis details. Now, this NVD site is managed by NIST, that is National Institute of Science and Technology, and National Institute of Science and Technology is controlled by Department of Commerce in United States. Now, this is the exploit database, and exploit database is basically a piece of code which a researcher or hacker develops after he discovers a vulnerability in a system. So he then use this exploit to hack a system based which contains that vulnerability. Now, this project zero, as this word zero indicates, that it targets 0-day vulnerabilities. So it is basically a team of Google researchers who are tasked to find 0-day vulnerabilities in products. Now, this project zero team has discovered a vulnerability in Linux memory management on 26th of September, that is 3 days ago, and they call it cache invalidation bug. Now, what is a cache? Cache is a fastest memory co-located with central processing unit or CPU of a computer. So whensoever CPU wants to execute any task, it looks in the cache, and if this information is not found in the cache, then it looks in the memory, and if this information is not found in the memory as well, then it looks in the hard drive, which is the slowest operation. So this the details of this cache invalidation bug I will discuss, but it basically invalidates the data in the cache, so forcing the CPU either to look in the hard drive or to look for a data which is intentionally placed by the hacker. Now, this was the CVE ID of this vulnerability. And if you go to National Vulnerability Database, you will find this CVE ID. Now it is taking some time to load. So this here you can find this CVE ID, and it also says that the analysis details are awaited. So now if we go to this CVE database where it is referencing, so you can find further details. For example, you can also find the details of an exploit which was developed to hack a system using this vulnerability. So in order to see that exploit, we have to go to exploitdb database, where the Google researcher have published the exploit. Now they call this exploit use after free and bug. And then there are certain details when the exploit was published, and it was published on 26th of September. And also the Google researchers. And there are other details. For example, it targets Linux operating system, and this is the CVE ID. And this is the tag they used, that is the vulnerability this exploit uses. And people can download this exploit, and it is publicly available. Now this exploit or this vulnerability targets Linux kernel version these, and this exploit or vulnerability targets or using a mechanism through use after free vulnerability. So this use after free vulnerability is a kind of vulnerability that a CPU, in order to access our data, a CPU access the pointer to their data. So once that pointer is free by the CPU, hacker tries to exploit that pointer, and this pointer starts pointing towards an invalidate data, and either that invalidate data is malicious or it is null. So once the CPU tries to access that data or the old data using the old pointer, that pointer now points to a new data which is not the original one. So this led to the compromise of the system. It's quite a tricky term to explain. I hope I did some help. Now this was all from my side. I have put in all the links and references to my research and related to this news. And if you like my effort, please stay connected with my channel. Thank you.